Oh, well, folks, here we are. Day number 2 of the 15th anniversary Solstice Challenge. This time at the glorious WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. I think anyone who watches pretty much any sort of North American motorsports know what this track is at this point. We are the number 3 car. Interesting. So we actually should be, in theory, decently competitive this race, but that remains to be seen. Laguna Seca is a little bit more tricky than Summit Point was, and I do not have a lot of practice. We're actually here right now in the very final race of day 2. The next race that will happen in half an hour from now will be on day 3's track. So honestly, I'm just glad that I managed to get into this session in time, because I was really kind of cutting close. But I'm trying to commit to doing all 7 days of it, and we don't want to miss a day right at the beginning. That would kind of suck. But here we are. Laguna Seca. It's a neat little track. It's one that I think I either love or hate depending on the car I'm driving. I mean, it's always a fun track no matter what car you're in, but if you're not in a car that you're comfortable with, it can be a monumental pain in the butt, particularly up here in the corkscrew, because it's a blind corner that goes down about 2 stories and then just continues down. And for rookies especially, it throws a lot of people off. And that was nearly an off track to start us off. Thankfully, not quite close enough for it to register. But the green flag's out, so now we need to actually get our act together. Best lap I did in practice was a 148.3, and that was with some pretty obvious mistakes. I think I could get it down to a 146 if I actually did it correctly. But that's still not great considering... Ooh, tires are so low cold. That's not particularly great considering some of the really high iRating folks I saw were doing crazy stuff like 143s. And I have no illusions I'll be able to pull off a time like that. Tires are still cold. I'm trying to push this car like I have a ton of practice under my belt, but not quite ready for it yet. So needless to say, this lap is not going to be very good. But hopefully our second lap we should be able to put something together once the tires get a little bit warmer. I mean, it's a really neat little track. It's got a whole ton of elevation changes, which I think add a lot of character to it. I can't imagine what this track would be like if it were on flat ground. I think it would be not anywhere as notorious as it is. I'm kind of curious to see what that is. That would be an interesting project for people who mod like ACC and stuff, to see what tracks that have like a ton of terrain elevation variation, what they would be like being flat, and vice versa. Maybe take some really flat tracks and see what they would look like with some hills in them. But that's beyond my expertise, so I don't know. 150, not great. Let's try and improve our second lap here. Overdrove turn 1 a little bit, already off to a good start. But I still think we can salvage something out of this compared to our first lap. Or we can get an off track. Never mind. So much for that. So it looks like for some reason we're on the pole with a 150.9, which is really not a good lap time. Hopefully, one of these lovely folks will decide to post a qualifying lap, because I definitely do not have the pace to be at the front of this field. Not one little bit, but it does look like several drivers have already indicated that they are not qualifying, which doesn't fill me with confidence. One of these fellows got a black flag. So we'll have to see what happens. We're waiting for 1, 2, 3, 4 more people to put in their lap times if they decide that they want to. But right now, okay, there we go. That's a little bit more like what I was expecting. It just took him a little bit of time to get it posted. That's more like it. I'm pleased to say I'm not starting on pole. That's a couple more people putting their times in. That leaves 3 more people. If I put together that second lap, I think I could have beaten these 149s. But there's no way I would have caught a 146. Not a chance. Well, this should still be a pretty interesting race. 12-car field, so pretty much the same field size that we had last race back at Summit Point. We will just have to see what happens for the time being. Still a minute left in qualifying, while we have one person left that needs to decide either to turn a lap or hit the ready to race button. We're waiting on a single person, which isn't great, but it is what it is. We can survive sitting here an entire 55 seconds. But we did have one person disconnect, so 2 people disconnect at that. What is interesting is seeing all of these incident counts here, though. I am not the only one who messed up my qualifying lap. Actually, of the drivers who turned a qualifying lap, it looks like all of us, with the exception of no, everyone that decided to turn a qualifying lap got an incident in one of their qualifying laps. So that makes me feel a little bit better about my mishap on that second lap, because everyone did it in some capacity. But we'll just have to see what happens in the race. Hopefully things will go a little bit more smoothly. Let's be annoying and judge people's paint schemes real quick, why don't we? Not as many custom liveries this time around compared to last race. Last race, I feel like we had a pretty decent amount. This time around, not so much. But that's fair. I mean, how often do folks actually race in the Solstice?
Alright, fellas, get ready for a great race today. Coming in here with
starting P5, number 3 driver.
Really excited about the day.
Let's try and get a podium finish. I think that's the goal.
It's all up to you now, bud. Left side on the restart. Closed. Pit road's closed.
Still no standing starts in this series, so we are going to have to do a full-length pace lap here around Laguna Seca, which I'm not super excited for, but we'll make it work. I have faith in our ability as a bunch of idiots in cars to get around this circuit under pacing without having any mistakes. shouldn't be having to go through this much work to keep up with the pace car, though. And the car behind me just went off the track following me around these corners, which isn't great. The car in front of me also is now going off the track, trying to keep up with the pace car. Somehow, I think I have reasons to be a little bit apprehensive as to how this race goes. But we'll see what happens. I'm sure everything will be fine and dandy. And if not, then if we manage to survive it, it's a couple of free positions. So we got that going for us. But as usual, my main goal is survive. I want to complete all 7 of these races to their full length, if at all possible. So that is what I will try to do. I don't know why the pace car is this fast. Kind of throwing me off here. I'm halfway to actually racing to keep up with the pace car.
Alright, Earl, all on you. Smash that gas pedal there, boss man.
Let's see what we can do here.
Pace car's off. Have a good day.
Don't lock up the tires.
Green flag.
What a weird start. But that's Laguna Seca for you, I guess. Let's just try and survive turn 1 and go from there.
Left side. Two
Stay
wide,
high.
left side. One only.
Try and not
Clear him.
die, because hearing 3 wide, not very inspiring. We have negotiated our way this far, though. That's a decent start. Nobody's dead quite yet. I definitely could have handled that last corner on the pace lap a little better. But we're all okay so far. Field's gotten pretty jumbled up. I think we're still either 5th or 6th, probably 6th if I had to guess. That one goes a little bit wide there. That was a bit scary. And now we have a faster car coming up behind us. You know what? You can have that, buddy.
Clear, clear.
Do we all survive the corkscrew lap 1? Yes, we do. Good for us. Not terrible so far. Not great, but not terrible either. Not a great turn 12 again. I mean, turn 12 is somewhere I've always had difficulty, but I feel like, especially this race, I've been having trouble with it.
1:57.419. 10 minutes to go.
That was almost a blown motor. We got very lucky that it wasn't. Uh-oh. That could have been bad. Slammed on the brakes for that one.
Keep going.
So far on the left, don't like that. Oh, there he is. That's a lap car, and someone just blew their engine. Oh, Lord. We love a little bit of drama in our motorsports. But who doesn't? So that should move up to P6, I believe. So still down a spot from where we qualified. We need to try and make that back, if at all possible. And I really need to be more careful with these downshifts. I'm getting way closer to money shifting than is comfortable. And I mean, it's entirely a skill issue on my fault. I don't deny that. But I definitely need to be more careful. That's a little bit of a better of a turn 12. But we are still losing the field, though, which is not great.
1 minute
150, I mean, that's better than our qualifying lap was, but not by much. Ooh, that's not great. We're fine. Absolutely nothing wrong. I'm definitely overdriving the heavy braking zones a little bit. And uh-oh. He just had a repeat of my qualifying incident. Overdriving that corner too, way too much. Gotta say, gang, there's a lot of room for improvement on my end tonight, especially after doing that. That was not great. It's entirely possible we got engine damage from that. Because our top speed was struggling up that hill. That's a little bit better, finer sector, though.
The car in P1 just hit the fastest lap.
Yeah,
1
we have
minute 46.
a lot of ground to make up here.
The car in P3 just hit the fastest lap. 1 minute 46.
Not great at all.
0.075. 1 minute 50.441. That was your fastest lap of the session. Keep it up, bud. You're doing a great job. Good job, man.
Fastest lap of the session, but not by very much. That's for sure. That's a little bit better of that corner. We're starting to put something together here. I don't think it'll be enough to catch anyone else in the field. But we are starting to put a little bit better of a lap together now. And every little bit of experience we get will just serve to help us later on in the event. Because we still got 5 races left to go after this one.
Five minutes to go.
5 minutes to go already. Not great. We are, however, gaining on the car in front of us.
The car in P1 just hit the fastest lap.
We are getting on the car in front of us considerably.
0.072.
We might just be able to get back up into the top 4 here. 147.7. That's a new PB lap, period. So that's good. And we blew our motor. I should have saw that one coming.
Oh, this is just a disaster.
Well, just like that, that's pretty much GG.
Get out there, get a good look at everything, make sure we can change our tires, make sure everything looks okay.
I knew eventually I was gonna do it. Slightly too much of a money shift there. So in the meantime, let's see what's hip and cool going on in the rest of the field. because it will be white flag lap next time by. And this looks like the battle for second and third, which is probably the closest battle on track right now. I'm finally guilty of a little bit of a money shift, which is unfortunate because we were gaining on the car in front of us pretty well, but that was the ultimate skill issue of the century on my part. But we're not really going to have time to get back out on the track. Minute 10 seconds left of towing. We do have a fast repair, which let's turn the rest of this stuff off. We don't want any of this going on the car, but again, it really doesn't matter. That is effectively GG. I mean, we can wait for the fast repair and at least make sure we stay above the car in P8. But otherwise, we're pretty much done, so. But that's how it goes sometimes. We'll see what's hip and cool in this battle. They've pulled further apart from each other. But it is the white flag lap. That is pretty much all she wrote. I'm gonna get back on the track and turn this last lap just for the sake of saying that I did. Because we have a fast repair.
Go.
Just for these kinds of situations. And there actually is a car. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say there's actually a car on the same lap as me, but he's ahead of me, and I'm not going to make up 26 seconds in one lap. Not a chance. And we can certainly try, but I don't think that's gonna happen. You live, you learn, though. It happens.
The leader just did a 1 minute 46.167.
That just means we will have to do better in the next race. Also, we're gaining on P6 shockingly quickly. It's probably because the race is over, but I don't want to assume it is until I know for sure. So until we do, I'm going to just push as hard as I can for this lap and see what happens. I don't think I'm going to be able to make 15 seconds up. Like, let's assume we do still have a lap left. I still don't think I'm going to be able to make that up. But we can most certainly try.
White flag.
White flag lap, so technically we still can make it up. 14 seconds, though, is a massive deficit, so I don't think we are.
1 minute 56.544.
But we'll see what happens. We're gonna not money shift this time. No, we're not making that 15 seconds up. Oh well. Still a decent race. And we will just have to... Oh, well, he spun out. We might actually make this up after all. Fascinating how the turns table.
You're gaining on the car in front. The gap is 5.2.
I think he's going to have to make another mistake for us to make that 5 seconds up, though. Nope, that's that. Oh well, we tried. And that is half the battle sometimes. We walk away P7 out of 12. All things considered, not a great showing on my part.
Good work, everybody. Good work.
But at least we will carry with us into the next couple of races. Be more careful on the gearbox. That's pretty much the big takeaway here is don't downshift too quickly. This is in fact not an open wheel car. You cannot drive it like it is an Indy Pro 2000. As much as you may want to. That is not the way to go about it. But as usual, we're going to pull it around to pit lane to get that tiny little ounce of extra safety rating. Just because it's nice to have, and at least this time it's actually to compensate a little bit for the various mishaps we've had this race. And we'll just have to go into Summit Point Jefferson tomorrow with a new face and start with a fresh palette, pretty much. But let's get this thing parked in pit lane and take a quick look at all of the not me related incidents that happened this race, because it seemed like there was a pretty good few of them. There's a cone there. But we tried.
Here we come, fellas.
I think we technically completed every lap. We didn't finish a lap down, so technically we've still got that goal going for us.
That's smart. Now,
even if it definitely was not the way we wanted it to go. Well, let's go back. Let's take a look at these incidents. See what sorts of drama went down this race aside from the drama I was involved in. The entirely self-inflicted drama at that. But this looks like the leader. Probably just a course cut incident there. Note to self, don't do that. And then someone else blew their engine right in front of me. Yep, that guy did. That's what I get for saying something about it. I did it because I said something about it. But misery loves company. And then the car behind us and all of that repeated my qualifying incident. And there's that same off track for me. I took that corner way too shallow. And hey, look, there's me again. I'm the star of the show tonight. We tried to make it happen. Not quite so fortunate, but we tried. Uh-oh. It's Laguna Seca. It looks like everyone this race struggled here a bit. Was this after the race? No, it wasn't. What an experience here tonight. But that's Laguna Seca for you. We finished the race. We technically got less incidents than the other drivers. I guess we've got something going for us from all this. In some form or another. That's it though. That's enough of that for this evening. Tomorrow, we head on back to the Summit Point Raceway for Summit Point Jefferson. The track where it all began for a lot of drivers here on the iRacing.com platform, I think it is bound to be a pretty fun one. For now, though, thank you all for stopping by, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.